Okay, so a farmer applying for stewardship or looking to apply for stewardship can ask RPA for an application pack, and that triggers a consultation, if you've got archaeological sites on your land, with the local authority archaeologists, and if they're scheduled or you've got a registered park, with ourselves at Historic England. That consultation comes through, and the response is called a HEFA, Historic Environment Farm Environment Record. That HEFA will have scheduled monuments, registered parks and gardens, and SHINE sites marked on them. Now, SHINE stands for Selected Heritage Inventory for Natural England. It's a data set of known archaeological sites that are real and can be managed under the scheme. And it's notified to you because there's an impact and an opportunity to manage those sites through stewardship. If a farmer has a SHINE site or a scheduled monument on the farm under arable cultivation, then there'll be some recommendations, but effectively you can either take it out of cultivation, and we're standing on a Bronze Age burial mound that's been taken out of cultivation and put down to grassland. There are other options available as well. That's for minimum tillage, a cultivation depth of a maximum of 6 inches, non-inversion, to protect the archaeology. There's also an option, HS9, which is direct drilling with a 1 in 5 year cover crop, which, as you can imagine, is also there to protect some of the more sensitive archaeology. So if your archaeological site still survives in earthwork form, direct drilling might be the way to keep it in food production, but not damage the earthwork and protect the archaeology. Well, I'm here on site now with Nigel, who's a farm conservation advisor, to try and have a think about what this archaeological work is showing us around the protection of the site now. We're told by the other archaeologists that, what we've established is that there's a good depth of buffer of around 15 centimetres below the base of the existing cultivations and the top of the archaeology that could be at threat. So actually at the moment, at this point in time, the archaeology looks like it's at low risk from the cultivations that we've got happening. But as we all know, the demands on farming change over time, and it could be that situation changes. Nigel, we have a farmer who's farming combinable crops with basically a minimum tillage non-inversion regime. So he's cultivating with tines and discs to a depth of 15 to 20 centimetres. Usual combinable crops, presumably wheat, rape, peas, that sort of thing. Yeah. And we've got archaeology surviving at a lower depth, so that we've actually got a buffer, this magic buffer of around 15 centimetres between the base of the existing cultivation and the depth of the archaeology that's sensitive to cultivation.
Minimum tillage, which is being practiced on this farm, is really sort of a part of what we call regenerative farming or conservation farming, so sort of putting good health back into some of our degraded soils on the farm. So it has a number of benefits. Because you're not disturbing that soil, then you're not disturbing a lot of the microbes, the mycorrhiza, fungi and earthworms within the soil, so you're getting a bigger populations of those useful organisms within the soil, which will help break down a lot of the organic matter within the soil, break it down into useful nutrients for the crop, and also that will build up the organic matter in the soil, which will help sort of retain water, particularly during springtime when the next crop will go in here. Also benefits as well for preventing erosion of the soil as well, and runoff of surface water. Not such a factor on here because it's quite a flat-lying site, but even so, very useful. So there's a number of benefits there, as well as preserving the archaeology here that it will have towards the health of that soil and make it a lot more resilient.
So we've talked about the stewardship options.
Yeah, there are other grants available as well as stewardship for capital items like direct drills through the Farm Productivity Grant Scheme, and also through the Sustainable Farming Incentive as well, which is the lower part of the Environmental Land Management Scheme, which came in last year. Very much focused on good management of arable and improved grassland soils, so encouraging farmers to put more organic matter back into the soil, as well as have regular soil testing done and a soil management plan. So again, that is money that they can access in addition to Countryside Stewardship Scheme.